In this video, I'm going to be using Kavia and Claude Code to try to fix an issue from this FastAPI repository. I'm going to ask them to find an issue from the list of issues here, and they will have to come up with a solution for that. I'll also ask them to create a bunch of documents and see how they both complete these tasks. So now that the GitHub repository has been ingested, which in this case is the FastAPI repo, we're going to be asking Kavia to search in that repository of the project and find a backlog item that can be solved. So let's see how much this is going to take. And as we can see, Kavia has selected this GitHub issue to work on, which is the support query HTTP method, and it explains also why it is suitable. So this is great. Now I'm going to ask it to create a feature specification document for this item that would be resolved, and let's see how much time this takes. And as we can see, Kavia took around 2 minutes and 20 seconds to create this feature spec document that I requested, and it includes many sections that are really helpful. So now I'm going to ask Kavia to create an architecture specification document for the project, and let's see how much this is gonna take. And as we can see, Kavia has generated this architecture specification document, and it took around 4 minutes to create it. And this also includes many very useful sections describing what the architecture is about. So now I'm going to ask Kavia to create this other document, which is a detailed design document for the project, and let's see how this request goes. And as we can see, Kavia took around 3 minutes to generate this detailed design document, which I requested previously, and it also even includes a few diagrams. So this is really nice. Now I'm going to ask Kavia to create an implementation plan document for the ETH issue that it recommended me previously, which is described right here. And I also ask it to specifically include a tracker in the document of the tasks that need to be completed, and that can be later updated as Kavia implements this. But for now, we're just requesting for the document. Let's see how this goes. And as we can see, Kavia has generated the implementation plan to create this query method in the FastAPI project, and it includes even the task tracker that I requested previously. Now we're using the same repository, but we're going to ask Claude Code to generate the documents. So for this first query, I asked to search in the GitHub repo a backlog item that can be solved. And after a few iterations and looking into the GitHub issues from the internet, it could specify me that it recommends this specific issue. So we will go back to this later. Now I ask Claude to create a feature specification document for the item that it recommended me to work on, and it first fetched a few data from the internet, the GitHub remote repository, and then it created this document that we can go here and see the full content, which seems to be also pretty um, extensive. So yeah, seems like it generated a good result as well, and it took 1 minute to generate it. And after a few minutes, specifically 6 minutes and 3 seconds, Cloud, Cloud Code was able to generate this architecture specification document, which is right here, and it tells me what it had covered, the sections that it just generated, and it also tells me like how much time it took to understand like the code base, and then how much it took it to write that the document. So yeah, and this is the final document, which I can preview this way, just opening right here, which is also pretty extensive, I would say, which with a few diagrams as well, really helpful. Now Claude was also able to generate this other detailed design document I asked it to create, and it took in total almost 5 minutes, in which 2 minutes were time in which it was exploring the FastAPI implementation, and the other time it was for generating this document. So it is also working as expected, and we can also preview this document, which something that I have realized with Claude is that it always gives you like this first table of contents, and you can then go, and it also gives you a bunch of code snippets that you can analyze, and in many cases it also gives you like diagrams. Seems like here was not the case. Oh yeah, we have a diagram right there, and yeah, most of it is just like code snippets, but not much of like description of what each part does. So yeah, a big difference with Kavia. And after I have also asked Claude Code to create an implementation plan document for the same query HTTP method for the project. It took around 2 minutes and 52 seconds to generate this implementation plan with a similar structure to the other ones, and also including code snippets, many code snippets inside this document, and also including like the task tracker that I requested as well. Now I'm going to compare these two agents and see which one completes the task in and follows the instructions I am giving them. In this case is to fix the issue they both created the implementation plan for, and yep, let's see how this goes. And Kavia has asked me to approve these changes it is proposing to implement, and after doing those changes we can see that Claude Code is still running. It is taking almost more than 3 minutes and a half, and Kavia has already finished, taking less than those 3 minutes and a half. It was around 3 minutes in which the time it took to implement this solution for the issue. And Claude Code has officially finished in the process of implementing this query HTTP method for the process for the repository. And as we can see, it took around 6.5 minutes to complete this, almost double, or actually more than double the time that Kavia took for this. It also implemented these test files, but we can see that Kavia also implemented these other tests. So they both did a pretty similar job, but Kavia was much faster. And yeah, this is the result from the comparison.